Welcome back to the Crow's Nest, everyone, and happy E3. We've got so much new info to cover with Sea of Thieves after Microsoft's conference, so let's jump right into it. Rare released the longest gameplay footage yet, clocking in just over 9 minutes. We'll take a closer look at the newest gameplay footage today, analyzing all of the major and minor details throughout the trailer as it plays live. Let's get started then. Immediately, the gameplay trailer opens with Rare's picturesque open waves and sky with storm clouds on the horizon. The sound of thunder and lightning flashes in the distance. We're treated to the newest visual cue of wind direction. Those familiar with Sea of Thieves will recognize the start of a new voyage as our 4 players are introduced, and with that, we get a glimpse of some brand new character models, offering further details as to what character customization might look like on release. Speaking of customization, we also get a look at some customized sails as well, a sign of individualized and further customized ships. Although we haven't seen customization in detail yet, we do know it's coming, so just be patient. As our pirates dive into the ocean, this underwater world suddenly comes to life, with plants, coral, sharks, and a school of fish all visible before our eyes, and greeted with a sunken ship, the wreck of the Cursed Dawn. And here's our first introduction to shipwrecks within Sea of Thieves. The pirates swim towards the ship that's seen better days and begin to explore for any secrets or sunken treasure. Worth noting is that our player gasps for air as they emerge upwards, signaling the very real possibility of drowning in game if you're underwater for too long. Not only can you find sunken treasure, but if your ship is running low on supplies, you could always stock up here as wooden planks and cannonballs are readily available if you can find them within the wreck. So manage your air supply properly before you set out to explore. You don't want to get caught running out of air, trapped inside a ship. Unfortunately, life isn't too cozy under the sea, so you'll have to be mindful of hostile creatures such as sharks or any other enemy with an appetite for pirates. We also have a look at a chest that's been abandoned, slowly floating up to the surface, readily available for anyone to take. That means friend or foe can go ahead and snatch up the floating treasure, so you better hurry if you want to cash it in. There's been a lot of discussion within the community as to what other creatures we might find in the waters. Time will tell. We have sharks so far, we know there's mermaids, and we know there's been a kraken tease, so who knows what else we might find. Now with our crew and treasure safely on board, the storm looms closer on the horizon. Be sure to try and store the treasure somewhere out of sight. You don't want any prying hands to find and steal your treasure. We also have our first look at one of the newest game mechanics in Sea of Thieves, the Riddle quest, where instead of the usual island maps players receive, we instead get a riddle for players to figure out. Worth noting is that the second half of the riddle is blurred out, and therefore the riddle cannot be advanced without finishing the beginning portion first. This is a personal favorite of mine as it varies up the quest types that we'll be seeing in-game. As our players move inland, we see the lush environment as well as wildlife flying overhead. We also see that the usual skeletons aren't just waiting for us with pistol in hand, but they'll also mount environmental weapons and fire on your ship if they deem it too close. Armed with pistol in hand and the blunderbuss as a backup, it's time our pirates get to shooting to clear out the skeleton threat, firing and trading shots with the enemies as they explode into a heap of bones. Now that the threat is gone and our players replenish their health with a good dose of potassium, we get one very cool concept introduced in-game. In a very surprise move, we have a fellow crew member taking a shortcut and firing himself out of the ship's cannon, perfect for the lazy pirate who isn't too fond of swimming with the sharks. The fact that Rare is including something like this into the game opens up a whole new world of quirky and fun elements to be explored by pirates of all ages. And now it's back to our riddle quest, furthering the questline as we investigate the clues. As our pirates make their way through the thick plant life and find a hidden cave, there's signs of danger all around. Be mindful of where you step, as there's signs of potential traps as we find former pirates who met their end on the island. Are traps something that could potentially be activated or tripped by players in other regions of the world? It's very possible with this tease. With that said, it's no surprise that our pirate crew is cautiously making their way through the caverns. Speaking of teases, we have another look at the Kraken rock painting. Similar to the one seen in the E3 2015 trailer first announcing Sea of Thieves on one of the early islands. But back to our riddle quest. Using only the clues provided on the piece of paper, our players continue to explore the cave, searching for the Cursed Boar Shrine. Could there be other treasures aside from the Cursed Boar Shrine? Those keen on exploring will have a field day inside such a cave. Upon finding the shrine, the next portion of the riddle requires illuminating the shrine with a light. And as our players do so, an ominous and ghostly aura fills the cave, triggering the next phase of the riddle quest. As you can see, the riddle map has updated itself and is now showing the next piece in the puzzle. Using the trusty compass, our pirate friends head towards the next clue, counting their steps as they search for treasure. And as with most things in life, digging up treasure is much easier with the help of others, speeding up the process significantly. We also see that the treasure chest is of legendary quality, potentially signaling a much bigger payoff when trying to cash in the chest. But it won't be a simple walk in the park. Be careful as the inhabitants of the cave rise up and try to make you a permanent addition to the decor here. It's important that your crew covers your back literally as you try and escape with treasure, because fighting off skeletons is not possible while holding a chest unless you place it down on the ground. Now that the chase is on and our players rush out with the hopes of seeing daylight again, our pirates make a daring escape and jump out behind a waterfall to safety, if only for a moment. Finally, we get our first look at weather patterns and storms in-game as the island comes to life again with skeletons all around as our players try to put down the skeleton uprising. During the action, lightning strikes the sand in the distance as visible as cannon fire and gunfire erupts all around, showing off that lightning isn't just there to fill the environment but could potentially cause harm as well. Our pirates continue escaping back to the ship, with each player in the crew taking turns of carrying the treasure chest back to the vessel. Crewmates stay behind to cover the retreat because these skeletons pack a punch if you're not careful. Now that the treasure is safely aboard, it's time to find the nearest outpost and cash in the prize. But you're not in the clear just yet, as there's still plenty more danger to come. The real challenge begins now by making it there in one piece, as the storm and other enemy crews will wreak havoc on your adventure. So pick your outpost destination wisely, because the fun is only just beginning. The vessel is under fire because in a pirate's world, finders keepers. Even if that means assuming the role of finder by getting rid of the previous owner. Take your cannonballs and load up the cannons and start firing. As we head below deck again, we also get our first look at ammunition crates in-game, providing a way for players to refill and reload their pistol and blunderbuss. It's pretty noticeable that the physics of the storm are no joke, as our ship rocks violently side to side. When the going gets tough, fire yourself out of a cannon to close the distance, and what a long shot it is. Our pirate hero makes a dramatic entrance, boarding the enemy ship and taking the crew by surprise, all the while engaging in sword combat as he parries and blocks, fires off his pistol, and engages the enemy with his blunderbuss. Take a good look at the ship listing heavily to the right side as the deck below fills with water in the violent storm, showing off some impressive ocean and ship physics. Now that the day is won, we have another epic look at our ship as it sails by, in confirmation of lightning causing damage as your ship is struck. Our pirate crew is victorious and the day is won, sort of, as our own pirate friend gets a bit too eager and dives in, only to become shark food. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen, Sea of Thieves gameplay analysis in all of its glory and a release window of early 2018. This trailer, among all the other trailers, has shown off what a huge potential the game has, and I'm very excited for the future of Sea of Thieves. Out of all of the moments from the trailer, which part was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. My own favorite was the cave scenario and the riddle quest. I hope you enjoyed the video, everyone. If you're looking for more Sea of Thieves content, you're in the right place. Drop a like and subscribe to the Crow's Nest for more. Thanks again for checking it out, and as always, fair winds and following seas.